Hello everyone and welcome to this short video about Sylius and one of the upcoming changes into Sylius 2, which is the state machine management. This state machine management is handled now with a bundle and library called Winzu State Machine Bundle that manage all the state machines in Sylius e-commerce platform. In the future, this state machine management, it will be done with the workflow component of Symfony, and in this video we see together how it's done today and how it will be in the future. Okay, so now the first question is how state machines are handled today in Sylius 1.12 and the versions before that. First, when we start the checkout process, for example, the stage of each shipment is in the state that we call cart. Then, after the complete of checkout, the state becomes ready. And this is done by a translation called create. Then, based on the action that we want whether to ship or to cancel, a transition is applied, and this transition takes the stage of shipment to shipped or cancelled. In Winzu state machine representation, this is the configuration for shipment state machine. First, we have the entity or the model. We have also the property in the entity that will hold the state like shipped, cancelled, and ready and cart. Then we have the possible states. And then we have definition of from states that a transition can apply to. In addition to this, we have a callbacks that may apply before or after the execution of a transition. So in this example, we have Sylius assign date. It's a callback definition. We have the action, what to do in the ship transition. In this example, we have a service that we call, in this example, it's Sylius shipping date assigner. And the method that we call is called assign. And we can pass arguments, like in this example, we can pass all the objects of shipment, or we can pass only a subset of the object. Like in this example, we take the shipment and we get the order from shipment and we pass it to resolve method of the order shipment resolver. How to apply transitions programmatically? To apply transition programmatically with Winzu State Machine Bundle, we get first the SM factory service, or we inject it. Then we call the get method of the factory to get the graph of the shipment object. And then we apply the transition that we need. In this case, we apply the ship transition. And then the state machine factory will handle all the callbacks and priorities, etc., etc. All of this is still working in Sylius 1.13, and in addition to this, Sylius team introduced a new component called Symfony Workflow Component to have a better integration of Symfony components and rely on Symfony ecosystem. So from 1.13, we can have both Winzu and Workflow working together in the same project. All this heavy lifting is done by the state machine abstraction introduced by the Sylius team, which allows us to work either with the Winzu state machine bundle or with the Symfony workflow component. So now the question is how to enable Symfony workflow. Now if you go to the project, I have a project running with Sylius 1.13. It is running with Docker. If we go to config and we go to packages, we notice now that we have workflow.yaml present in here, and we can create our own workflows here. In addition to this, if we go to Sylius shipment.yaml in the directory resources of the core bundle, we see that we have now a new folder called workflow that holds all the workflows of Sylius, and we have all the previous state machines with Winzu State Machine Bundle here. For example, if we take Sylius shipment in the previous versions, we see this configuration of Windows State Machine Bundle, which is like this. We have transitions, we have create, from, etc. We have the callbacks, everything is here. But if we go to Sylius shipment, we have a small configuration with places. This time they are not called states, but they are called places, and we reference them from the shipment interface. Like here we have cart, ready, shipped, cancelled. We have also transitions, and we have each transition here, for example, the create, the ship, and the cancel. And we have the from and to, and here we can mention either one or multiple states. But if you notice, we don't have callbacks here. That's because workflow components provide us with event system. And event system, if we go to the shipment XML, which is here in the configuration of listeners of workflow, we see that the Sylius team already introduced all the callbacks here and listened to some events triggered by the transitions. We will see an example of this in the video. So now how to enable the state machine management by the Symfony workflow instead of Windows State Machine Bundle. To do this, let's add the Sylius State Machine abstraction. In the configuration file in Sylius.yaml, which is in packages, we can add Sylius State Machine abstraction, which is a new key introduced by the team. And we define the graphs. So it's the graphs to adapters mapping. And now we can define the way that we want to handle each state machine. For example, if we want to turn the Sylius shipment into a Symfony workflow component, we just write Sylius shipment and we assign Symfony workflow. And that's it. How to test this? To test this, we can go to our dashboard. We can go to shipments. Now let's pick a shipment here. For example, this one. We click to ship. Everything is succeeded. The shipment is shipped. Now let's see in the debugger. We have here a redirection from Sylius admin shipment ship. Let's open it in the profiler. Now we see a new thing, new tab here, which is called workflow. By default, we have all the workflows defined in the platform, but we see that we have one triggered here. If we go to Sylius shipment, we see that our shipment, it was handled this time with the workflow component, and we can have multiple informations and much more informations from this. Here we have the graph, and we know that we can go from cart to ready to ship to cancel. We have also the possibility to see the events triggered. For example, here we see that Sylius by default have two listeners, one listening to ship and one listening to complete ship. And we can also see the places, what was applied, the arguments. In this case, it's the object, shipment. We have the return state, and we have the place, the final place, which is shipped. Awesome. Now let's try to hook into the Sylius shipment. I have an idea, is to try to send an SMS message after the order is shipped. How to do this? We can go to our project and open the SRC folder. To do so, let's create a new folder. I will call it event listener. Inside this event listener, I will create a new folder, a new file. I will call it SMS shipment notifier listener, for example. I will mark it as an event. To do so, I will use the attribute as event listener from the Symfony component, event dispatcher. And then I will add an extra parameter. I will call it event. In event, if you remember, in the shipment event, we saw that there is two listeners that listen to complete and transition ship of the Sylius transitions. We will do the same thing, and we will listen to workflow Sylius shipment transition ship. This event is created by default with the workflow component. And I will take this one, and I will go back to my listener. I will register it with this same event. I can add a priority. It's a good practice to add priorities. I will mark it as, let's say, 101. Then I will not implement a real send of SMS, but I will just log something in the profiler. To do so, I will use the constructor. I will use the logger interface to inject the logger. And then I will just create an invoke method that will be invoked by default when the service is called. In the invoke method, we receive the event. And in the event, from the event, we can get the subject, which is the shipment. I will call it shipment equal to event get subject. I can get also the order. Shipment get order. Here I can implement the send SMS message logic. But for me, for now, I will use the logger, and I will add it like info. I will do a printf. That's it. Let's test it now. We come back to our platform. Let's grab another shipment. Let's take this one, for example, the 16, and I will ship it. Everything is fine, configuration is fine. Let's go now to the profiler. If we go to workflow, everything is triggered correctly. And if we go to logs and we look for SMS sent to customer with order ID, so we hooked the system and we sent a new SMS, for example. So we are in the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and if you have any question, don't hesitate to mark them in the comment section or to getting me in the LinkedIn platform or X platform. And thank you. See you next time.